What a crazy weekend in college football, y'all, especially in the ACC. I mean, you don't see these kind of wins. Now, if there was at home, you'd be like, okay, cool, smooth. But no way in hell you think on the road they're going to beat these top ranked teams in the ACC. This is what makes college football so much fun. In any given weekend, anybody can win. We seen Indiana struggle on the road against Penn State, but Fernando Mendoza had his Heisman moment today. You just never know in these games. Oregon struggled on the road against Iowa, even though they're ranked. You just never know. But shout out to Wake Forest and Robbie Ashford, man. Running the ball well with Damon Claiborne, making plays, had that big punt return for a touchdown. That made the difference in a game that Virginia struggled. Now, granted, as I wrote in this article, the struggles came from Chandler Morris being injured, getting hit in the head, effectively being ruled out for the game. That made a big difference. They obviously had Kalen, who came into the game for them, but just could not get it going offensively. Couldn't get the ball Jamal Edgerrin. Couldn't get Jamari Taylor going. And Virginia had 3 turnovers in this game. That is not getting it done. And you're not going to win football games like that. So to me, that was obviously the big difference for Virginia. Defense did good. They kept them in the game. Like I said, they never let up a touchdown. 3 field goals in this game for Wake Forest. The only touchdown was on special teams. So Virginia defense showed once again they're pretty good, and they limited this team as best as they could. You got to be able to step up Virginia offensively. So that was one major difference in this game. But Wake Forest, man, they're a gritty team. They're going to make it tough for you. And like I said, they even had Georgia Tech on the ropes at 1.2. Can't take that 42-7 loss to Florida State all the way to heart, because this team has enough players to make you and to make a difference and to make it tough even on the road. They're going to always be ready to play, man. And big time win for Wake Forest and Demon Deacons on the road to knock over Virginia, handing them their first conference loss. The next major result, I just finished watching this game, Louisville and obviously California. And how about Cal? Nothing to lose, on the road, 4th and goal, game on the line. We decide not to kick the field goal. Hey, our defense has played well enough. We've been in this game the whole time. What we're going to do is we're going to go for the win. And you throw an out route from Juwan Kiwi Sakabatule to obviously Jacob De Jesus. That's getting it done. Outside corner route, getting it in for the touchdown, man. Great win on the road for California. Defense hasn't been great this season, but did enough. Had a lot of sacks in this game. Made it tough for Miller Moss, who I told y'all I don't believe in. And scored points against a really good Louisville team. Like, Sakabatule threw for 2 touchdowns and over 300 plus yards passing, and he threw the ball 47 times in this game. That's getting it done. So a big win for California, one step closer to bowl eligibility. And when you have nothing to lose, it makes you dangerous. So the bottom line is, the ACC is anybody's to win. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. But anybody can win. And ACC gets disrespected so much. But there's so much parity in this conference. Doesn't matter if you're home, on the road, neutral. Anybody can win games. Now let's take a look at what this means for Georgia Tech. For the Yellow Jackets, massive for them. 3 games left in the season. Obviously for Georgia Tech as well, so we're going to be coming off a bye week. And you play Boston College, obviously at 3:30 Eastern on next Saturday. For Georgia Tech, you have just the 1 loss to NC State all season long. Virginia obviously has 1 loss, and they have Duke. Duke just got knocked out by UConn. Duke has to go, or will host a Virginia team. We'll see if the quarterback can come back and play. They need him badly. That's a game I have Duke winning. I think Duke has a really good team in Darian Mensah. Put up the points. Defense has to be better. I think Duke will be handing Virginia their 2nd loss. Pittsburgh has a tough game. This week, y'all, they play Notre Dame. Now, can they win a game? Sure. Mason Highshaw has been really good this year. Desmond Reed's been doing his thing as well in a pretty well-rounded defense. But Pittsburgh and Notre Dame, that's a big game for both teams. Notre Dame wins, they get more added to their resume. Pittsburgh wins, that could throw Notre Dame's chances to get to the CFP in jeopardy. Massive game for both. Now for SMU, they picked up a big win, obviously, over Boston College today. They get a bye week this upcoming week. Then they finish with Louisville and California. Neither one of those games are gimmies. Louisville's going to be pissed off probably in 2 weeks when they play them. That's a tough game. Will be a home game for the Mustangs, but that's going to be one to watch for as well. And Miami picked up a 38-10 win over Syracuse today, obviously picking up another win and trying to stay. But basically, man, the ACC is up for grabs. Georgia Tech has a great opportunity in front of them. They went out, they're in. You know what I'm saying? There's no disputing that. They went out, they're in. And the good thing is they will have a tiebreaker in all this. Think about it. SMU has a tiebreaker over Miami. Louisville has a tiebreaker over Miami. So Miami's really screwed because they lose both tiebreakers to Louisville and SMU. Georgia Tech can get the tiebreaker over Pittsburgh when they host them in a few weeks as well. Something to think about. Virginia, obviously, will be a team we have to see. kind of what happens with them. They play Duke. That's a big tiebreaker game this upcoming weekend between both teams. But nonetheless, man, big time results in the ACC and anything up for grabs. This was probably the kind of weekend Georgia Tech needed in order to kind of stay forward. They still control their own destiny. But now with some mix-up, they can separate themselves with more ACC wins after a chaotic weekend. Big weekend for Georgia Tech.